Welcome to MultiClass Mondays Stewarding Report for Round 1 at Paul Ricard. There were no issues to report in qualifying. Great job to everyone. Let's jump right into incident number 1, which occurs during the formation lap. We have warnings for 3 drivers, which carry no time penalties and no license penalties. Starting with car number 2, which is the yellow and white McLaren on the left side of the grid in P5. You'll see the weaving, large speed changes, and ghosting of the car ahead. Next, we'll switch the focus and heads-up display to car number 961, which is the red and black McLaren on the right side of the grid in P4. Again, you'll see weaving, large speed changes, and ghosting of the car ahead. As a reminder, the priority for double file is to set up the grid for the race start. Weaving, slamming on the brakes, and ghosting or passing the car ahead are not allowed. And finally, we'll move to car number 38, which is the green and white McLaren on the right side of the grid in P2. You can see here the speed changes and also how they are positioned ahead of the pole sitter for much of the double file portion. And as we approach the green lights, car 38 was quite a ways ahead of P1, but falling back. And as a reminder, we need to have P1 setting the pace, which is 60 kilometers per hour or 37 miles per hour, and P2 even with or even a little bit behind P1. Now let's go ahead and look at each class's race start, starting with the GT3s. Overall, we have a very clean start here. Space was given to all and clean passes were made, including this one here into turn 3. And now jumping back to the GT4 start. A quick note on the gap to the GT3 field. It could certainly be larger than it is here, but definitely not any smaller. And as we roll again, you see car 73, the blue and black BMW, gets a great start and immediately looks toward the inside. Now, Paul Ricard is very unique in that its runoff is very safe to drive on. Therefore, as long as the overtaking car keeps 2 tires on the white line, like you can see here, the pass is legal. The car ahead can still defend against this move. Before the overtaking car has any overlap, the car ahead simply needs to take the white line or straddle the white line in order to seal off the racing surface to the overtaking car behind. And proceeding on through turn 1, we'll see door-to-door contact between cars 67 and 105, which we will look at in incident number 2. Car 67 on the inside runs a little deep into turn 1 and modulates the brakes. Car 105 on the outside leaves more than a car width to the apex. Car 67 runs wide and makes light door-to-door contact with car 105. Car 105 continues on with little damage and little time lost. Car 67 rejoins safely at the back of the pack. Given that this incident was in the orange zone, it is upgraded from a likely racing incident to a warning, which carries no race penalty and no license penalty. Looking now at incident number 3, car 73 on the outside is leading car 10 on the inside into turn 10. Throughout the braking zone, point of commitment, and apex, car 10 achieves only a small percentage of overlap, but not significant overlap. Car 73 ahead continues on the racing line toward the apex, as is their right. Car 10 makes contact to the rear left bumper, who spins car 73 to the outside. Car 73 then rejoins safely at the back of the pack. Car 10 continues on with little time lost. And we'll jump on board with car 73 and pause the video right at the point of commitment, or the turn-in point. By this point, an overtaking driver must have significant overlap. But as we look out the window and then from above, it is clear that very little overlap was achieved, which means it is a Tier 1 penalty to car number 10. Incident number 4 is a consolidation of 5 warnings for pit entry violations. Drivers are required to commit to the pits before the white line, and these cases range from minor to more egregious. However, none of them resulted in safety concerns or time gained, and so for that reason they get simply a warning, which is no race time penalty and no license penalty. Looking at this final incident from the perspective of the car behind, this GT3 driver is being quite patient, setting up for a late apex here coming into the final turn, clearly wanting to set up for a pass on the right leading on to the straightaway. What they don't know, of course, is that car 73 ahead is planning on coming into the pits, and so they get hung out to dry a little bit on the left side of the track. Ideally, car 73 would have committed even earlier to the right instead of swinging wide left at the exit of the final turn. However, this feels like more of a racing incident, and there was clearly no time gained. And finally, we have incident number 5, which is 2 pit entry infractions resulting in time gained and potential safety concerns. Coincidentally, car number 2 did receive an in-game penalty for the first pit entry, but it was for speeding at the pit entry line and not for the pit entry limits that are being discussed here.